for my people and for Nigeria as a whole. In my opinion, most of Nigeria's problem stems from the 1999 Constitution. Nigeria is a country that has had several constitutions, pre-independence constitution, written by people who colonized us for us in their favor, and then some we seem to have written for ourselves after the after independence, and then of course the 1999 Constitution, which also I've just heard a few minutes ago, that stemmed from the 1979 Constitution. If this is the case, I think that the 1999 Constitution being our problem, we should be truthful to face the clarity of how we're going to go about changing the 1999 Constitution. From my state and my region, and I'm just speaking as a daughter from that region because I have a Pandef here who is representing the Niger Delta region. I also have the INC president who is the representative of my ethnic nationality. As someone that has experienced had quite a bit of experience, the Niger Delta region, having our own position, I believe that all Nigerians have their own position. And it is a great thing that the Patriots have given us this opportunity. And I'm very proud to say that I also have been a member of the Patriots for a very long time. I was brought into it by the late Senator David Dafinoni when I worked for him. And I've come to realize firmly now that the fault of the problems that we are facing in Nigeria today is the problem of the 1999 Constitution. And unless the youth and the women of Nigeria rise up, Falana talked about revolution. When you speak about revolution, people think you want to carry guns. No, you can have revolution of the mind. You can have revolution of how you think. And we need to have very strong revolution to change Nigeria, assuming that we truly want to change Nigeria, because it depends on us if we change Nigeria or we don't change Nigeria. But I want to say here without fear or favor that as long as we have the present personalities that we have in our different states, in politics, all the way up to the federal government, that even this 1999 Constitution, from what I've heard here even, that we're going to find it difficult, if not impossible, to change the 1999 Constitution. Therefore, as I round up, I am convinced that if we're not able to change the 1999 Constitution to the People's Constitution, irrespective of how we have come about this 99 Constitution that is so clearly against the country called Nigeria and the people, the suffering people of Nigerians, then Nigeria truly should be able to stand up and begin to look forward to how we're going to go about the plan B of Nigerians and Nigeria.
Professor Benjamin Ogele Okaba, President, Ijaw National Congress Worldwide. If there's any group that is so badly affected by the document I'll refer to as the satanic document called the 1999 Constitution. It should be the Ijaw people. The first point to note is that we never signed any agreement or treaty with the British Crown to surrender our sovereignty. So we're forced into what we call Nigeria. That is number one fraud. Moving forward, our sources of livelihood have been taken over by various enactments. The Land Use Decree, the Petroleum Industry Act, and several others. My sister talked about lack of resource control, resource management, etc. As we speak, the Ijaw nation is on the path of self-determination. We pray the peaceful process we have started is made possible. If not, a revolution will become inevitable. As several fora, we have mentioned the primary conditions that will make Ijaw people to be committed to the Nigerian nation. Before Buhari, I led the Ijaw people, and several, when even the British visited us at the Ijaw House, we told them in the first place they brought us to this rubbish, and they have the responsibility of pulling us out. Then secondly, as we move on, we still believe that Nigeria we can have a reset of Nigeria if we are ready to do the appropriate things. First and foremost, why not go back to the pre-independence Act on derivation? Before oil and gas became the commanding height of Nigerian economy, it was at least 50%. When we had oil and gas, because it's from a minority area, we're giving patri 1%, later 1.3%, and today we have 13%. 20% translate to 87% deprivation. We face all kinds of environmental hazards. And when we cried, they insulted us with 3% PIA for host communities. Somebody said Obasanjo is, the present government is a Democrat. As far as we are concerned, it's not a Democrat. Tinubu is not a Democrat. You cannot go and tell him that the Ijaw people say that he's not a Democrat. Because you cannot practice democracy and fail to adhere to the basic principle of democracy. The same constitution that guides everybody. You are imposing a state of emergency in a state to satisfy the inordinate ambition of some persons who want to capture resources and power of a state. We distate that, and we don't want to hear anybody talk about Tinubu being a Democrat. Finally, by way of contributing to the debate, we think that if we must move on, let us go back to the regional system.
And even the second.
We are proposing 10 regions.
You want to now kick me out of it.
10 regions. That's our proposal. And when we have regions, the issues of state creation, local government creation, and etc., will be over. In your own region, you have as many number of states you want to have. If you want to have 10, have 10. If you want to have 10 states, have 10 states. If you want to have 20 or 200 local government areas, have it, because the sharing will be on the region. And that will solve the issues of having 12 states today, because the more you agitate for state creation and create more states, you create more imbalances and injustice. To resolve that problem is all that. Then secondly, we must own our resources. Resource control is not new. It is not new when granules, cocoa, palm oil were the commanding out of our district. It was 50%. Why are you doing it to us? Because it is oil. The 13% derivation is an insult. If we have all of this put in place, you can now have a fair Nigeria. We produce what sustains this country, but we are most badly treated. And that is why nothing can be well with this country. When you maltreat the person that feeds your nation, if you maltreat your mother that feeds you, what happens to you? So when we are considering all of this, we should also look at the spiritual dimension to it. We are the mothers of this nation, but we have decided to deprive us. And that is why whatever we do, including what we are doing now, will not work until we give honor to motherhood. Thank you very much.
Thank you.